What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build It video, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about what mistakes that I made early on and how you can avoid ending up as screwed as I did. I kind of learned everything I know about the game. I learned from trial and error. After I learned a majority of what I know about it, I went on YouTube, I looked up some people's videos, and to be honest, a lot of the videos weren't very helpful. They were either giving false information or they weren't giving enough information as to why you should do the things that they're saying that they're doing. And that's when I decided to make videos from my perspective in hopes that hopefully you guys can understand a little bit better on like what to do, what not to do, and why it is that way. So if you haven't already, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment below. If there's something you want me to do a video on, please leave it in the comments and I will. I've covered a lot of topics already, so go ahead and check out the other videos out. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. When I first started, I did not know that rare find was, that it dropped off early on. And that hurt me tremendously because I had leveled up my city very quickly. And the reason that I leveled it up very quickly was because if you notice when you first start out, house upgrades cost very minimal in materials. So like maybe it says, 2 nails and 3 metal, okay? Now, knowing what I know now, I would never suggest this, but at the time, I was hurting for coins, and there's only so many things you can do to get coins. Okay, you can either make items, or you can do house upgrades and collect your taxes. Now we all know that doing house upgrades, yeah, it can pay quite a bit, because when you look at your house upgrades early on, it will say, like I just said, 5 metal, 2 nails, and then it'll show you what you're going to get for that upgrade, and you usually get somewhere around 1,000 to 1,200 coins. So to do one upgrade and boom, you're good to go. I was just bulldozing and rebuilding. So I'd lay down a construction zone, do 1 or 2 upgrades for cheap, get 4,000 or 5,000 coins, and then I'd bulldoze it, and I would just have the couple construction zones set aside for that. And they call that rebuilding. I've seen many people do videos on it, and the reason that I do not recommend doing that is because it's going to cause you to level up very fast, and you are going to miss out on a lot of needed time to collect rares, and it will hurt you later. So what ended up happening is I ended up being like level 30 or 40, right? And I had like 100 and something storage unlocked, and it was terrible because by the time I realized, hey, I can't find storage like I used to. Why is this happening? My city I already had too much invested to want to turn around and restart. So I had to make several feeder cities to fund my main city, and I had to buy a lot of the little cash bundles that popped up, like 280 storage, 10 of each or whatever. And it took a long time to come up with what I needed to come up with. I did end up maxing out when I hit level 60, I believe, is when I finally maxed my storage out. So please do not level up. Now, the other thing, the other mistake that I made the mistake of, and if you've watched my videos, you know this already, but I made the mistake of doing epics in the category in which I had the most epic pointers. Now, normally this would be something that you would want to do, right? Because, hey, you got the most epic pointers in it. There you go. Well, for me, no, because I'm really about the way my city looks. And now I'm stuck with all these tall buildings here in the back. And as you can see, they're all gold epics. And I'm not going to bulldoze those. So without being able to store them and put them on a different map, I'm stuck with them. So pick one that you like the look of. Go look up the poster for that, and you guys will be better off, do some research before you get too far into the game. Another mistake that I made was I would help people quite a bit. And yes, it's always good to help your teammates and stuff, but a lot of people will come and go very quickly, within 3 months or so. And you just help them, I would give people like 600,000 coins to help them get through their epic. And then I find out later that they only had, 2 1-pointers when they were doing their epic. Had I known that, I wouldn't have even bothered, because I wouldn't have wanted to invest that much time and money into someone else's city and then for them to turn around and put play in 3 months, So, make sure that you guys really, really know who you're helping and that they're going to do the same for you. I also was not president when I first joined. I was a vice president in a club. If I could go back, I wouldn't have done that at all. I would have just started a club right off the get-go. You can make your own rules that way. Another thing that I did early on was I built a lot of Omega, Tokyo, London, and Paris houses. They are all bulldozed now because I ended up not liking the look of them. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to have things that you make and build, and then you're like, that's kind of stupid, and you get rid of it, and you're like, that sucks. But for me, I probably bulldozed like 70 fully upgraded Tokyo houses. And as you know, those are not cheap to build. It's like $2,000 for one Tokyo item. And to fully upgrade a house, I think you need like 10 to 15 of them. After so many upgrades, it's not including your normal items. So yeah, don't do that. Make sure that you guys know what you're getting into with the Omega before you even start it. Don't bulldoze any of your parks. A lot of people make the mistake of, especially with the regionals, okay? First off, I did not have regional maps when I first started playing the game. So I didn't have to worry about that. But I will tell you this, do not unlock them if you are just starting out. Wait till your capital map is damn near completed before you even think of it, okay? Because it will hurt you a lot. I have videos on that and why it will. But one of the problems that I ran into was before they had regional maps, was that I had so many buildings, okay, in storage that at one point I'm like, well, if they're not gonna, extend our capital map, I'm never gonna have room for this stuff. Now, if you go to your park section here, in some of these buildings, if you place them down, you get a refund when you bulldoze them. So a lot of people, they'll place out this park when they're hurting for coins, and they'll bulldoze it and they get half their coins back. This goes also for any like resources that you might have, like power, sewer, water, that kind of stuff. They'll bulldoze it. Only bulldoze those if you have purchased an Omega resource and you are kind of saving up space. You know what I mean? Don't do it for coins, because it doesn't benefit you, okay? It hurts you later. Sure, you might get, 20,000 coins right away, but really, it's not that much. So another thing that people worry too much about is population. And early on, yes, you do. It really kind of depends on what it is you want out of your city. Because if you're not somebody that's going to be doing contest of mayors, then or building the Tokyo, Paris, or London houses, then unlocking the airport really isn't a benefit to you, okay? Yeah, you need it for comm if you're going to be doing those tasks, but I don't ever use my airport, to be honest. I think it's a waste of money. I don't use the Tokyo or London items because I don't build those homes. They just don't benefit to me. One, I don't like the look of them, but two, they don't do anything for your city. They don't give you a token, so why have them? That's my thought on it anyways. They're not providing any currency to you. They're not giving anything back. So I don't bother with it. Don't buy a bunch of the little hospitals and stuff. Just go for the big ones. And another thing is, a lot of people will set out a new home early on, and they'll end up with a huge portion of their map with homes that are only, 1 or 2 upgrades. Don't do that. Because the more you do that, the more resources it's going to need to provide to those homes. So what you really need to do is upgrade the ones that you have, okay? And make sure that they're all fully upgraded. And that way, when you get to the point where you unlock epics, you can do those epics on every one of those homes that's fully upgraded. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to do any epics on them, and you're going to have to upgrade all of those houses first, and then you're going to be leveled like 40 by the time you get around to being able to do an epic on it. And then you're going to have everything unlocked, and your epics are going to be torturous. So don't do that. Upgrade your homes before you lay out new construction zones. Happiness, people worry way too much about that. Yes, you want them to be happy. There's ways to make them happy. I have videos on that, but don't stress about it if they're not. Yeah, your taxes are going to go down a little bit, but it's not going to be, you're going to spend more money making them bastards happy than you are just letting them bitch, okay? So don't do that. War is not something that you have to do to be successful at this game. You can do war if you like it, and if that's something you like and that's something that you want to fund your city on, go, by all means, go ahead. But I don't care much for the war aspect. It does not, I don't know, it doesn't entertain me as much because a lot of people find ways around being able to actually play the war, and it takes a lot of keys to unlock the attacks and stuff like that. So I just don't put too much into the whole war thing. I know some people buy crazy amounts of war packs, like the $99 packs, and they buy 5-6 of them a week. Don't ask me how they have that kind of cash. I don't know, but huge waste of money. I guess if you got it like that, who cares, right? So another thing I've noticed early on is people don't understand how the contest of mayors works. I have a video on that, but essentially you don't want to start and cancel your assignments, and you don't want to do the low point assignments. The algorithm of the game will only allow the game to spit out a certain amount of assignments. For example, you will not ever look at your assignments list. Oh, okay, mine's ended. But anyways, you'll be given a list of assignments, and to complete them, you'll get plum bump points. Some of them will be worth 3,000 plum bump points, whereas others are worth, like 800, 1,200, something like that. Now, a lot of people will go, oh, look, I can go ahead and quickly do this 800 task, and then I'll go do this 1,200 task. Don't do that, okay? Especially if you're somebody who's trying to hit the higher tier prizes, because those assignments are crucial, and they need to be strategically planned if you're getting real competitive with it. I don't get as competitive with comm anymore as I used to, because it really does take a lot of your time, okay? If you are somebody who is very strict on comm and you need help and you just can't figure out why you're not hitting the top, I do have a video on it. But essentially, it's probably because you are trying to play it too smart and you're matching up your assignments. For example, if you have a launch 3, okay, for 3,000, and then you have a repair 5, you're going to want to do your launch 3 before your repair 5. But let's say that you have a launch 1 and then a repair 5, and the repair 5 is worth 2,000 points and the launch 1 is worth 1,200, okay? Most people would launch the 1 and then do the repairs, because that's what seems to be the more logical thing to do. Do not do that. The reason you don't want to do that is because it's worth less points, okay? So do your repair 5, leave that launch 1 sit there, and if that ends up being your highest point assignment, which I promise you it won't, because that's not how this game works, odds are that assignment's going to sit there throughout your entire contest. So play it smart. Sometimes you got to give up those opportunities to match and pair those assignments together. And that's one of the things that I noticed with other people's videos is when they tell you how to hit the higher tiers, they tell you to match up your assignments. Well, yeah, sometimes you do want to, but other times you don't. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're playing with people like me that are high level and you getting your ass kicked, that's why. Because we know what we're doing, and we don't do any assignments that are below 2,000, period, ever. Even if it means paying 60 cash, we won't do it, okay? That is why those people have so many points, and you're sitting down there going, how the hell are they doing this? That's why. Because they're paying cash to bring back the flights. They look at their assignments list. It says, 3,000 for 3 Tokyo shipments. And you're sitting there going, well, that one's going to take 18 hours. I'm going to go ahead and do these first, and then I'll do that one when I go to bed. We don't do that. We go, oh, all right, cool. We're going to go start this task, pay $20 to bring the shipment back, boom, boom, and we got it done in 10 minutes. And now we're already off to our next assignment. That's why you're having a problem. If you want to hit the higher leagues, I'd say if you're like about level 40 or up, it's going to get pretty competitive. If you're below that, you should have absolutely no problem hitting the mega prize. People in that level bracket don't normally have a clue what they're doing, and the competition is very scarce. So if you're, going in and you're leveling up and you're realizing, hey, this competition's getting a lot harder, it might be time to watch my video to make sure that you actually hit that prize. But I am going to tell you that you will have to spend cash. You have to. And a lot of times, if you don't hit the mega, you don't get what you put in out. And that is why I don't do comm anymore, because you will never get what you put in and out unless you're low level. Okay, so you're level 20 and you're kicking ass at comm and you win the mega prize. It's going to fund your city, great. But for people level 50 and above, they're going to win that 1,000 cash and go, well, shit, I just spent 980 getting there. You know what I mean? And you barely won the first prize because you went to sleep and all of a sudden some jerk fucking knocked you out of first place with 20,000 points at the very end, because that's what they do. You will have to use every one of your gold tickets as well. And back when I was playing comm religiously, we only had 5 gold tickets. Now they have the opportunity to use 15. And the Mega League, I believe, has 60 assignments. So it's going to take pretty much all week to get those assignments done. You are going to have to play quite a bit. But if you're like me and you've made a lot of mistakes and you're too far in to turn around and restart, try to make those changes now. It's never too late, but it is going to be a lot more difficult than somebody else. I do know people that have realized, they argued with me when they came to my club. I can't tell you how many people have done this. She's crazy, whatever. And then after a while, they're like, I kind of see what you're talking about now with them epics, or now I see what's going on with this or that. And they end up restarting. And if they would have listened to me, they wouldn't be where they're at. So I know this from experience. I screwed up my own city. And back then we had all these big contests of mayor's buildings like these right here. And they're really cool looking. So bulldozing my city and restarting wasn't exactly an option for me, because I would have forfeited all these cool buildings, which if you see what they have out right now, they're pretty crappy. They're like little tiny ones and you can barely even tell what details on them. And now they're charging like $4.99 for the mayor's pass. Yeah, you get more rewards than you ever got before, but still, they're not very good. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I do want to get another video out for you guys, so I will end that here. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.